Previously, I made a mini series covering the best roller coaster in each state determined by the crowdsourced project known as Captain Coaster, a website where users can sign in and rate coasters that they have ridden and pair them up and duel them against other coasters that they may or may not have ridden. With those responses, the website generates a worldwide leaderboard based on the world's best coasters. The response I got from the United States version of this video was pretty positive, and it seems like other people were asking if we could do a European version of this, which is what we're here to do today. Much like the United States version of this video series, I will be taking and ranking each European country based on their best roller coaster, and of course, those best roller coasters are determined by the people who use Captain Coaster. The format and criteria of this version will follow the exact same footsteps as the United States version. Meaning, a roller coaster has to be ranked on Captain Coaster. It has to have a percentage rating, and it has to have a worldwide ranking to be counted for that country. Of course, just like the United States version, there are some European countries that do not make the cut. There are a lot more European countries that don't make the cut, and because there's significantly more of those, I'm not going to list them out verbally. I'm going to put a list on the screen instead of verbally saying them because that's a lot to say. You can pause if you want to look at all of them, or if you're a fast reader, you don't have to. With that list out of the way of countries that didn't make the cut, that takes our total number of countries from 51 all the way down to 22. And much like the United States version of that video series, we are going to be chopping this into two parts because it would be too much to cover all 22 countries at once. With all of the rules out of the way, it's time to get into it. Coming in at number 22, last place, we have the country of Cyprus, with its best rated coaster being Mini Racer. This coaster has a horrible rating of 2.3%. and it is ranked number 1,921 worldwide. Keep in mind, the Captain Coaster Worldwide Leaderboard only has 1,945 coasters on it, so this is only 24 spots away from the absolute worst coaster on the Captain Coaster leaderboards. Now, this roller coaster doesn't even have a park. It is owned by an unnamed and unknown showman that travels the fair in Cyprus. It is the only coaster in Cyprus that is on the Captain Coaster leaderboards, and for that reason, this coaster wins by default. I would read you some reviews to get an idea of what this ride is like, but there are none. Coming in at number 21, we have the country of Romania, with its best roller coaster being Tokyo Express. Again, much like the last one, this is owned by an unknown showman. It has a rating of 7.2%, and it is ranked number 1,832 worldwide. And this coaster seems to follow a similar path, not having any actual reviews on Captain Coaster, just a bunch of negative star ratings. This roller coaster was manufactured by Socket. I've never heard of this manufacturer in my life until just now. It appears to be a powered coaster. It appears it's not very good. So if you're a Romanian coaster enthusiast, I really feel bad for you. Coming in at number 20, we have the Czech Republic, with its best roller coaster being Bobovka. I'm sorry if I butchered that name, and I should have put a disclaimer. Because I'm American, I might butcher some of these names, and this is no different. Would you be surprised to know that this is the only coaster in the Czech Republic to be on Captain Coaster leaderboards? This coaster does have one thing going for it. It is made by a manufacturer that I am very aware of, and I've ridden some of their coasters. This is manufactured by Wigan. It's an Alpine coaster that you can find at a lot of ski lodges and mountain resorts here in the United States, so I imagine this is a pretty similar ride. And if it is, it's not that terrible. And it looks like we are still in the territory of people not leaving reviews on Captain Coaster, just ratings. While this ride doesn't have any full-fledged reviews, it does have some positives. People are saying it has a long duration and it has a good layout, and it's fun. It just seems like not too many people know about this coaster, so it's going to get passed up in the duels a lot, hurting its ranking in the overall leaderboards, and that just seems to be where this ride is suffering a bit. Moving on to number 19. We have the country of Slovenia, with its best roller coaster being, and I'm gonna butcher this as well, Poletno Sankanje. It has a rating of 51.2%, and it is ranked number 840 worldwide. Unlike the last three entries, this one actually does have one singular full-fledged review, giving it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It's a really fun single rail coaster. The turns are a lot of fun. It feels like you will fly off the rail. The downside is that the capacity is horrible and it's pretty expensive for a ride, which takes less than a minute. Moving up to number 18, we have the country of Portugal, with its best roller coaster being Water Coaster. It has a 52% rating and it is ranked number 824 worldwide. This is an interesting pick to me because this is the 5th country in a row that only has one coaster in the entire country that is on the Captain Coaster leaderboards. Why I find that interesting is because not too far away, there is another coaster nearby that looks incredibly good and significantly better than this mock water coaster, but I'm guessing it hasn't been around the block long enough to garner a reputation on Captain Coaster, and therefore it doesn't have a rating. Don't get me wrong, this looks like a good coaster, but I'm not a water coaster kind of person. But if you're a fan of water coasters, this looks like a pretty good and solid ride that you would pleasantly enjoy. And we're starting to break into civilization here because there is actually more than one full-fledged review of this roller coaster on Captain Coaster. I think the idea of a water coaster inside a water park is really good, and you get very wet. Fun coaster, especially the second drop, and you really get wet. But again, if you enjoy water coasters, you don't mind getting soaking wet, then go for it. It looks like a good ride, and if it's at a water park, you're there to get wet anyway. Taking home the number 17 spot, we have the country of Andorra, with its best roller coaster being Tobotronc. And again, for the 6th time in a row, this is the only option for this country. And it is yet another weekend Alpine coaster, which I don't mind these, they're pretty fun. It has a rating of 59.3% and it is ranked number 673 worldwide. Really fun and beautiful Alpine coaster, pretty fast as well. Since it's the only coaster in Andorra, I'm actually surprised, and since it's a mountain coaster, you're always sure the location is beautiful. These are basically the only 2 reviews of the ride. I wish there were more to read, but based on what is there in the review section, this seems to be a pretty solid ride. Coming in at number 16, we have the country of Switzerland, with its best roller coaster being Rodelbahn. It has a 65.3% rating and it is ranked number 568 worldwide. This is the first country where there is more than one option. Unfortunately, this roller coaster doesn't have any reviews, but it does have some ratings that I'll put here so you can see what people think about it. Following the theme of all Alpine coasters, people are complaining about the capacity, but I can't imagine that's much of an issue in an area like this. We're doing a huge quality shift here from the last spot to this spot. Coming in at number 15, we have the country of Norway, with its best roller coaster being Storm the Dragon Legend at Tusenfryd. It has an 84.7% rating and it is ranked number 257 worldwide. I would say this is the first roller coaster on this list to have a reputation for itself, with a lot of coaster enthusiasts and YouTubers visiting this park and giving their reviews on it. And it's a relatively new coaster as well. This Gerstlauer invert coaster reminds me very much of a former coaster model that used to reside at King's Dominion, being the Intamin suspended catapult coaster, just a little more modernized and isn't actually made by Intamin. It looks like a great ride, and this is the first coaster on this list I can say with confidence that I would like to go out and ride it one day. When is that day going to be? I have no idea, but I do want to make it out to Tusenfryd one day because Storm the Dragon Legend is not the only noteworthy coaster they have. Number 14, we have the country of Austria, with its best roller coaster being Helios at Phantasiana, with a rating of 90.7%, and it is ranked number 147 worldwide. It's a Mock Rides Big Dipper coaster that opened just last year, and it's already making its rounds and garnering a really good reputation for itself, with reviews saying perfect coaster, great ride. They managed to pack a lot into this small coaster. My favorite seats are the back left and the right wing seats. On the left, the drop is amazing. It really gives you some surprising laterals and a lot of whip. This isn't the only review to complain about the rattle. I've noticed coasters from Mock Rides do have a slight rattle, like Copperhead Strike, but it's nothing too bad, and it's not a deal breaker. It doesn't really ruin the ride experience, and the reviews reflect that. As well as full-fledged reviews, you also have a bunch of positive ratings below that, citing what people like about the ride and some of the dislikes. At number 13, we have the country of Ireland, with its best roller coaster being Fianna Force at Emerald Park. This roller coaster has a 91% rating and it is ranked number 145 worldwide. This is a Vekoma suspended throw coaster that opened in 2024 and it looks amazing. I wish the United States would get a suspended thrill coaster from Vekoma, but it looks like we're going to have to wait a bit longer. In the meantime, we're going to have to make do with our suspended looping coasters. It's nice to see Ireland place this high on the list because I've wanted to go to Ireland for a long time. It's a really beautiful country, and Emerald Park looks like an incredibly beautiful park as well. Very scenic, very in tune with nature. The layout for this ride looks really creative and well thought out with the way it intertwines and interacts with Quest. I wish the United States would get a new gen Vekoma like this, but what we have been getting in the United States is a small taste of what Vekoma's new catalog has to offer. Taking home the 12th spot, we have the country of Italy, with its best roller coaster being iSpeed at Mirabilandia. It boasts a 95.5% rating and it is ranked number 66 worldwide. iSpeed appears to be the precursor for the modern new-gen Intamin Blitz coaster like Velocicoaster, Pantheon, and it looks really good. A merrily discolored coaster in the middle of the park. Great fast ride, although a bit bumpy. Insane Intamin launch coaster, first 2/3 are perfect. Weird ending where you really slow down. The first inversion will most likely chop your neck, but the whole ride is just so insane and has great airtime and laterals, I can forgive it. iSpeed has a lot of positive reviews that praise the airtime, the launch, and the intensity, but while it excels in those departments, it seems to suffer a little bit in the restraint department. While iSpeed doesn't seem to have the really bulky over-the-shoulder restraints, it does appear to have the over-the-shoulder restraints that are hard. But if the ride itself has a great layout, a great launch, and great pacing, I can forgive bad restraints. Moving on to our final coaster on this part of the mini-series, we have the country of Turkey, with its best roller coaster being Hypercoaster at Land of Legends, with a rating of 95.8% and it is ranked number 64 worldwide. If this ride looks familiar to you, it is the exact same ride as Flash that can be found in China. This is the same ride that has that obnoxiously tall loop that encircles the lift hill, but it is so photogenic. It looks like an awesome ride. Europe is getting some of the best bucket list coasters that Americans wish they can ride. From Vekoma suspended thrill coasters to mock hypercoasters, that just leaves us Americans waiting for when one of these will finally make its way over. Very good. My second favorite coaster. My favorite mock coaster other than the Ride to Happiness. It had a small rattle, but it made the ride more intense and fun. First of all, how is this vertical loop allowed? It is so insanely tall, the hang time is surreal, and the only hang time that comes close is the stall on Flash at Great Adventure. Incredible coaster, great first drop with laterals, amazing loop with hang time, great hills with airtime, a weird turn with great G's, and a whippy incredible 0G roll. Overall, amazing layout. It seems the general consensus is that Flash has a world-class layout and it is an amazing ride. People love to complain about clones a lot, but if a Six Flags park in the United States got a clone of this, I don't think anyone would be complaining. That's a wrap one of this mini-series on ranking European countries based on their best roller coaster. Like I said, the next part will be released as soon as I can finish it, and it will cover numbers 10 through 1. Europe has a pretty diverse lineup of coasters, and what surprised me so far getting into it was how many European countries there were that didn't have a roller coaster. If you want to see part 2 for this video when it does come out, I recommend subscribing and hitting that bell icon so that you won't miss it. It's only going to get crazier from here. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all in part 2.